This little segment addresses the three benefits, or maybe the biggest benefits, of using standard time, and perhaps addresses the three biggest pain points that consulting and manufacturing companies have. Those being the first, being able to maximize your billable versus non-billable hours, and addressing admin versus non-admin time. The second being having priorities messed up so that you're working on projects that don't matter. And then the third one would be the cost overruns or budget overruns. So I'm going to try to just hit those pretty quickly. First thing you see here with the standard time timesheet is you get a weekly total at the bottom so that you can make sure that you're hitting your weekly goals. Another thing you can do is go over to the left hand side and open up this billing section and look at the billable hours. So we see 24.25 hours here. If I click on not billable, then you have 18.5 hours. So you can sort of compare and find your billable versus non-billable hours. Another thing you can do is go to the Tools, Users, and Organization, right click on a user, choose Email Notifications, and just make sure you get an email out when people have less than 40 hours or they have not submitted their timesheet for approval. That obviously doesn't affect billable versus non-billable, but it does make sure that people get their time in. Another thing you can do is run a utilization report from the management section. When I run that, in this case I'll do it for the last 120 days, you are able to see the billable versus non-billable and the percentages for each user, and then you're also able to see the effective billing rate, so you can keep those billable rates under control. So this next pain point would be having priorities messed up so that you're working on projects that don't matter or they're not strategic to the company. One of the things you can do here is run a pie chart. I'm going to run the pie chart for projects, no filtering, just run that. Basically, you see right off the bat which projects are having the most time spent on those, so those would be the highest priority, and you can sort of check yourself to make sure that you're doing the higher priority projects. You might consider running another report, like maybe a custom report like project percentages. I'm going to go ahead and run that. Basically, this is just a simple little report that finds all the percentages for each project. And again, this is much like the pie chart, but in textual form, where you can just make sure that you are working on the projects that are highest priority to you. The third pain point that I'd like to hit for consulting and manufacturing companies would be budget overruns. If you click on the Project Tasks tab, you can set this up so that you see columns for the cost client actual, and cost client remaining. You can also see salary rates. But you can use these to find out where your project is. You can see percent complete, status percent column, things like that, to just help you see where your project is. If you're using an Excel spreadsheet, you're not likely to get this kind of information, so that's a valuable dashboard view there. Now if I open up another report here, like project budget burn, we can see here from a report like this a list of all the projects, and then for each project we get to see the budgeted amount, the amount used on tasks, the amount used on expenses, and then the remaining amount for each project. And so that is another way to kind of keep those things under control. So those are just some of the helpful ways that standard time can kind of help keep the company in line for those three issues, which again were the maximizing billable versus non-billable hours, keeping the priorities straight for the projects that are most strategic to the company, and then cost overruns. So hopefully that has helped a little.